Hey everyone, we're the Bee's Knees podcast. I'm Brittany, this is Ben, and today on the Honey Pot, we're ranking the MCU movies.
So I want to start this off by saying that we agreed on just about every decision on this list, from F all the way up to the SS tier. So Iron Man 3, what went wrong? To me, the problem that this movie gave me was that the story wasn't there. We had a great concept of Iron Man finally unshackling himself from this addiction that he had in being a superhero, but that was all thrown out. The mood was ruined by this Mandarin being there. But no, he's not the real Mandarin. Now we've got this other guy who's the Mandarin, but he's kind of like a fire guy.
Right.
It was just all convoluted. It was way too complicated. Just not the right decision for the Mandarin. And it just kind of...
Yeah. Yeah, and it's a shame because the first two were good movies. Like, you can see where they are on the list, and it seems like they started out strong and then went downhill, especially because the villains, like, I feel like where they went wrong was the villains. Mm-hmm. Anyway, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 is also in the F tier because, again, the story just wasn't there. They got too messy. They tried to do too many things. They made decisions that just didn't make sense. This is the second movie, so we've already established that these people are part of a team. Yet they divide the team and take all their strongest people with them to a seemingly harmless planet. Like he was expecting to go to his biological father's planet. He didn't know that his father was a psycho. But he just leaves the rest of his team there defenseless with a prisoner also being hunted down by other people in the galaxy with a broken ship. It just doesn't make sense. It gets too messy, and it seems like it was just a cheap decision to get Drax with them so that they could try and do whatever they were doing with the whole Mantis-Drax relationship.
Yeah.
So I just felt like it was a cheap decision, and it didn't make a lot of sense, and it ended up sacrificing the whole film because it just got boring and like, why? You know?
So in the E category, we have Captain Marvel, which I feel like it's brought down mostly by the portrayal of the character. We already have an extremely unlikable character in Tony Stark that, thanks to Robert Downey Jr.'s portrayal of him, we have learned to love.
Yeah.
In this movie, not so much. We don't have that same, I don't know if it's just the force of personality that makes the character, despite the flaws, be lovable.
Right.
So it just kind of, it's somebody I don't like or care about doing things I don't care about.
Yeah. Yeah, she just came across very obnoxious, and like they were pushing too much for the women power, which I feel like they could have done without being so just arrogant. Like we already had an arrogant character in Tony Stark, like you said. We also have Thor: The Dark World, which I love Thor so much. But in both 1 and 2, we're pushed with this romance with him and Jane Foster. And in the first movie, like, yeah, whatever, we get past it because we see his character development.
Yeah.
In the second movie, it's just the same tired love story that I didn't buy in the first movie to begin with. So I'm not buying the story. It's boring. And then it just is like the only excuse for it now is to bring in the Reality Stone. And it's a tired story. It's already been done, and now we have the Reality Stone. It just seems like an excuse of a movie. In the S tier, we have Captain America and we have Iron Man. Both of these films are their first movies. We get to know the characters. We get to see what they're all about, their morals, and how they came to be heroes. And they're both such lovable characters for different reasons. Iron Man shouldn't be a lovable character. Like we said before, he's arrogant. He's rich, he's pompous, he is who he is, but we still end up loving him anyway. He's funny, he's quirky, he's charming, even though he shouldn't be. And it's probably because of Robert Downey Jr. that plays him so well. But it's got the character development, it's got the action, it's got the story, everything that makes a good movie, these movies have. And they are both, in their own respects, leaders of the Avengers. So they're also important first stories.
Yeah.
And that's why they're there.
Yeah. And then we also have Avengers, Age of Ultron, and Civil War, which despite Civil War not being a Avengers movie, it pretty much is. So with this, we have Avengers, which is the first time we see them all coming together, becoming more than just what they are individually, to show why this team is necessary. Then in Age of Ultron, we kind of have that spark of dissent out of the Avengers. Because, yeah, they all work together, but things aren't all, like, peaches and cream. I don't know.
Yeah. They have differing opinions.
Yeah. And then Civil War, it kind of is that final nail in the coffin of, like, no, we can't all work together flawlessly. We have different ideals. We're falling apart.
Right.
And the arc between these movies shows like character growth between them.
Yeah.
Not just like the individual characters, but their relationships.
Yeah.
And it's kind of the start to like mixing superheroes between different properties and different movies. And it's like, I don't know what there isn't to like about them.
Right.
And here we go. It's time for the super tier of our ranking. Starting with my personal favorite of all of the MCU movies, we have Captain America and the Winter Soldier. The reason it's my favorite movie is because we have Captain America. Like you said, he is an exemplary character that we've been given. He has all of his strong ideals. He is America.
Right.
But
what America wants to be.
Yeah, but what happens when America doesn't live up to that?
Right.
We see him go through that, getting rid of the stars, leaving the America part behind and being like, I'm fighting for what's right.
Right.
This thing that America's doing, no, I don't agree with this. You're doing bad. Then it turns out Hydra's involved.
Yeah.
Plus, we have Bucky, who is dead, who is gone, now is back.
Yeah.
Surprise. It's great. Plus, when he catches that shield, it's one of the greatest scenes. Just like that look over his shoulder, see the eyes, the emotion that Sebastian Stan gives just from his eyes.
Yeah.
That makes it for me. Gives me shivers.
We also have Thor Ragnarok here. This is finally when Thor has his time to shine. We've scrapped the romance. We are looking at Thor and himself, and he has other teammates in this movie. He has Hulk eventually. He has Valkyrie. He has Taika Waititi's character. What's
Korg,
his name?
yeah.
Korg. Thank you. And they all work so nicely together. And it's actually, we see Thor realize that he isn't just his hammer. He is a hero in himself. When his eyes light up, he's glowing. Oh my gosh, that was amazing. Like, again, like you get the shivers, you hear the music, and you just know, here comes Thor. He is shining, literally. And it's just great. We get to see Thor without the thing holding him back, which is Jane Foster.
Now let's just let's hope that this Love and Thunder handles it a little bit better.
Hopefully.
Looking at you, Taika.
Yeah, well, I mean, he's done really well, so I have high hopes just because it's Taika Waititi that's directing it.
Yes.
So.
Yeah, and then to cap off all of this tier list, our super, if we could, super tier is the culmination of a decade's worth of movies.
Yeah.
Is Infinity War and Endgame. Collectively, I'm putting them just
together,
smacking them together, one movie. This is what we're here for.
Yeah.
We've been faithfully going to movie theaters for a decade.
Yeah.
To watch these movies. Like, we've grown up with these characters.
We've watched them grow. We've watched them through the good, the bad, the ugly. We've disagreed with them. We've sided with them. Like, in Civil War, when we actually had to part, like, who do we side with? Do we side with Captain America? Do we side with Iron Man? And then to see it all come full circle, we see all the character development that Tony Stark goes through. We see everything, and we feel it with them. And it's just like it coming full circle, it wrapping up, and it was done so well. Like, I remember being in the theater in Infinity War when that snap happened. And I was like, this isn't it. No, this isn't it. And that was it. And I was just like,
You're gonna make me wait a year
like I was
on that?
speechless, and because we're not used to movies doing that.
Yeah.
And so it was amazing, the feeling, and it wasn't just me, it was all of us in the theater. It was the relationship that all of us as fans had together in the theater, watching that moment and being heartbroken, being like, how the hell are they going to recover from this? And then again when they finally did in Endgame.
Being in the theater when Cap finally says Avengers Assemble, like he's holding Mjolnir, which that in itself
was incredible.
I've got goosebumps right now.
Just reliving it.
Being in the theater, just everything, them all coming through the portals, him saying those two words, and then that fight culminating.
Yeah. Beautiful.
It was
a magical moment.
If that's not cinema, I don't know what it is. I'm sure you noticed there are many more movies that we didn't talk about in this list. If you're interested in hearing more about them, check out the Bees Knees podcast. It's available on all major streaming platforms where we talk in much more detail about those ones.
Yes, and if you agree with the list that we've done here, make sure you let us know in the comments below. And if you disagree with this list here, let us know how wrong we are in the comments below.
Don't forget to like and subscribe. We'll see you next time.